Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Snowfall. This is season 6, episode 8, Ballad of the Bear. Gustavo shows up to the repast. You know, he got to show up and it's, it's in the hood. So he walking through the hood. He get in there, nobody gives him any trouble. He gets through there looking for Franklin. Sissy standing over there in a corner in a daze. Louie, she sees him and then runs out in tears. Scully and Leon, they have a moment off to the side. Leon crying and carrying on. He's so sorry about about how things went, between them. Sorry about your daughter. Like, I didn't mean to do that, And Scully forgives him. He forgives him for everything. They hug it out and all. Out back, Franklin finally shows himself, and Gustavo, he has Gustavo's stuff that, the stuff he needs. He needs the passport, the money, all of that. He has it. Gustavo says that he's picking up the shipment tomorrow, and he'll be leaving it in the warehouse, so we can get Teddy Reed. Teddy Reed is still in hiding, and so they're going to have to, drag him out of hiding. Gustavo asks for one last favor. He asks Franklin if he still has a jet. Franklin looks at him like, I might. In the house, Louie, she locks herself in the bathroom. We see her. She's trying to regroup, and fix her makeup and all of that. Franklin is outside, of course, and he's reminiscing on the good old days when I forgot the girl next door. The girl that shot him. I forgot her name. He's reminiscing on being back home, I guess, being over there with her and how things were when she was around. I said, they should have kept her around. They turned her into a whole crackhead. Then she went off to follow Jesus. And after she shot Franklin, of course. And we ain't hear nothing else about her. Anyway, Louie, she sit down. She want to talk now. And he just says, that we got 24 hours. I need to know if you're in. If you're in, tell me. If not, let me know, because we really need your help. And she says, I'm in, but I ain't doing it for you. She doing it so she can be rid of Teddy Reed. Franklin, he goes outside and gives Gustavo the bag or whatever with the money and everything. And he tells him that he'll explain the rest of the details at Louis tonight. Gustavo asks, have you told her the truth? And he says, well, if I did, I think that he thinks that she'll run if he tells her the truth about, I guess about what he plans and the fact that he killed Teddy Reed's daddy. But I think she already know that. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, Teddy Reed is meeting with his handler friend, and he's telling them, that promises have been made, and, they willing to give you back your little badge if you wire all that money into the account. They want all the money right away, and then you can get the blue badge. Gustavo is meeting with the DEA. They ready to go in. They insist that another agent, another Hispanic lady, go in with him to do the drop or whatever, so that, I don't know why they wouldn't think this would be alarming. You show up with somebody new, they always gonna be like, who is this? Who is this lady? But anyway, they don't trust him, and so she's going. Louie, she's on the line with Teddy Reed, and Teddy Reed, he always, again, this Teddy Reed. Because he always in the dark. He always in the dark, under the bed. The exchange is always so dramatic. This Teddy Reed on the phone. Where did you see him? What did he say? And she's like, he said he's broke, he approached me at the wedding asking me for a loan. And he's like, what did you say? And she says, I told him I'd give it to him. And he's like, okay, when? And she says, she can meet him tomorrow and she'll have his people grab him. And he gets quiet, You know, she like, hello. And he says, okay, they can do the exchange. But then he gives her this address and says, to come to the address or whatever, just show up. And she, of course, says she's going to need help. And he's like, only one person. If it's one more than one person, it's going to be problems. It's going to be trouble. And I will be watching, so don't pull no shit. When she hangs up, of course, Franklin and Gustavo are sitting right there in the room. Franklin reminds Gustavo that if Teddy Reed shows up and Gustavo isn't there, like, he gonna be dead. So I'm gonna need for you to don't renege on this. Gustavo, of course, is at the house with the kids. He says his goodbyes. This is unbeknownst to the children. They don't know this is the last time that they're gonna see this man. And these ain't even his kids. I didn't even know that. All this time I thought that those were his kids. Them ain't even his kids. Anyway, when he leaves, Hans was outside watching the house, whatever. So he got an eye on Gustavo. Franklin gets off the phone with Gustavo, who is, absolutely spooked. And he tells his girlfriend, that if things don't work out, you need to take my mama, the baby, and you need to get on from around there, because Franklin is riding around with girlfriend. But anyway, he tells, I don't think they was riding around. Wherever they are, wherever they at, he was telling her that if things don't work out, then you take my mama and y'all get on up out of the country. And she promises to do, what he asks. She always looking like, I don't know what I done got myself into. But girl, we tried to tell your mama tried to tell you. Your mama tried to get you out, but you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. Anyway, Teddy Reed, he tells Miss Lady that, he don't plan on transferring that money to the CIA. So I guess he ain't getting the blue badge back. He ain't really worried about that. That ain't in his future. Miss Lady, she gets up from the table and she brings him something that belongs to him. And she done went through his stuff, and it was his mother's ring. And then he get down on one knee and propose. I was like, okay, anyway. Gustavo and the DEA, they're waiting at the drop area or whatever, but the people late. Anyway, when they do show up, they want to know, of course, who this lady is. And he tells him that she's DEA. She's here to bust us all. She was looking like, nigga, what? They was like, aha, yeah. That's not funny, and she don't think it's funny either. She's like, I don't know what you got going on, but yeah, something ain't right about you. Cause back at headquarters, she tells, the other DEA man, something ain't right with Gustavo. He done told them people I'm DEA. Something is off about him. Franklin and girlfriend, they meet Scully and Louie. Cause Scully now he in on the whole hoax. Louie, she gotta beat Franklin ass. She don't take no time. She gotta make it look like they jumped him, and it's a violent situation, so they gotta really beat him up. And she hitting him, and then she just started losing it on Franklin. Girl, calm down. She was hitting him for real. Them was some real licks. Scully, he of course has to pull her off of him. And girlfriend, she's sitting in the car watching, just in judgment. Watching in judgment. Gustavo and the DEA, they riding around. He telling a story about his partner who died, and the person died at the hands of Teddy Reed. And he made this lady disappear. Whoever she was. Sorry, lady. They pull up to a payphone, and Gustavo gets out. He's supposed to call Teddy Reed. He pages Franklin instead, though. And then Louie pages Teddy Reed. Then he tells her, that there's been a change of plans. He says, leave Franklin in wherever they're supposed to meet. Leave him right there in the street. And then you take off. I'll be there to get Franklin. Don't worry about it. Franklin, he's right there, so he heard it all. He knows about the change, and he's okay with the change. As long as Gustavo shows up, they'll be good. He finally gets Teddy Reed on the phone, and Gustavo can't even He can't even say nothing before the DEA man pull up, cause the lady, she pulled back up with somebody else, and then they whisper something to one another, and then the DEA man get out and he put Gustavo in cuffs. Cause who you talking to on the phone? Who you calling? What you got going on? They arrest him right there on the spot. They don't believe that he was talking to Teddy. They done looked into the family and the kids. The kids and the family never made it to school, whatever. And so I think they know that Gustavo trying to run. And the DEA man, he threatens to plant drugs and everything. I'm like, you just gonna tell him you gonna plant the drugs? Anyway, Teddy Reed, he gearing up to go retrieve Franklin. Got his guns and his this and his that or whatever. Louie and Scully, they pull up to the spot for the drop, to drop Franklin off. And it's like in the middle of a maze or whatever. Scully, he makes it real. He got to duct tape his legs and everything. They do exactly as they're told, and they leave him right there. Franklin is there until about midnight. He there all day. He all day, all night. Just laying on the ground. Teddy Reed finally pulls up, all mysteriously, all slow with the lights on, with the bright lights on. You can't see inside. And when he gets out or whatever, Franklin, he starts trying to talk, like, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. He's trying to talk to him about the KGB and who's helping. Like, he thinks that he's finna give him some information, like, that's gonna help save his life, I guess. I don't know, but it doesn't work. Teddy just knocks him out. Girlfriend, she at the house. And out of nowhere, she just starts having complications. I don't know if it's Braxton Hicks or something wrong with the baby, but stress done got to her. And it's probably Braxton Hicks, because that's normally what stress will do. Gustavo, he in police custody, and then their car is sideswiped out of nowhere, causing him to spin out. DEA lady, she get out, she trying to check it out. And before she can call Hans, before she can call anybody, Hans just comes out of nowhere, out the shadows, and pew, 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 with his silencer on, kills her. Then he pulls Gustavo from the car, and he's like, listen, I'm here to make sure you finish your mission. You're not going to get out of this. I'm here to make sure you finish the mission. Back over there with Franklin, over there at the warehouse. He's standing on this stool. And Teddy Reed got the nerve to put a noose around him. Well, it's a makeshift noose. And he got the nerve to apologize sorry about that. But I got to do it. I can't have you running off. Doing anything to hurt me. He in there, prepping his acid to dissolve him in. And got his drug that he's going to, kill him with. And before he can stick the needle in his leg, Gustavo walks in with Hans right behind him. And, of course, Teddy drops the needle or whatever, and then he puts his hands up, and Hans tells him to drop the gun that's also in your waistband. Drop that one, too. And Gustavo, cuffs him, and Franklin in the back, just still teetering and tottering on that thing, about to kill himself. Trying to get one of them to cut him down, like, can y'all please get me back here? I'm back here choking. Can somebody get me down? Hans tells Gustavo to hand him the gun. Gustavo gonna try to wrestle the gun away from Hans instead. Now they in a tussle, and in the midst of tussling, one of them kicks over the stool that Franklin is standing on. So he really back there hanging about to die. I was like... This is a mess. Don't nobody care about Franklin back there about to hang to death. Anyway, at the last minute, Gustavo stands him up or whatever so he can breathe. Teddy Reed trying to convince them, Franklin needs to die or whatever, and Teddy Reed's basically on an island because don't nobody care. Everybody wants you dead. Not Franklin. Everybody wants you gone. They're all free, and now they got Teddy Reed tied up. And so, because Gustavo done cut Franklin down and all of that. And he looks at Teddy Reed all tied up. Because, got your ass. And just chuckles and just stares at him, with the murderous eyes. Because we got that ass. Until next time, guys. Oh, my God. I really did this in 14 minutes. That's because it wasn't really... Wasn't really much, but enough happened. Enough happened. Especially right there in the end. Anyway, that's it. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.